Tell me a little bit about your background. Tell me, if you could describe your childhood in a couple of sentences, how would you describe it?
I didn't have a childhood. I went to reform school in '43, and I've been fighting ever since.
Tell me how you would describe how bad it was for you in these reform schools.
A child don't know what bad is.
Well, he says in the book that you were raped, that you were beaten constantly.
Come on, man.
That's not true.
That's what he would like to believe. But
So
there ain't nobody can do that. Well, I've never sold out. They've never beat me. I haven't been beaten.
Tell me about your terrible childhood.
The child doesn't know what terrible is.
You don't want to talk about it, I tell you.
I'm telling you, a child doesn't know what terrible is.
Give me a little
terrible, man?
Give me a little description of it.
What is terrible? You know, terrible. What does that mean, terrible?
How do you spend your days now, since you're not allowed to play music? How do you spend your time in jail?
Sitting.
Just sitting?
Mm-hmm.
At one point, I read somewhere that you were making dolls. Is that true?
I make little dolls, yeah.
Tell me about that.
I just started taking string and making little dolls and bugs and spiders and little... it's a new art form. I created a new art form.
Anything else like that? Any other things that you do in jail?
Yeah, I run an underworld.
You run an underworld in jail?
Mm-hmm.
Tell me about that.
You don't see it? I fly birds. I look out for wildlife. I'm trying to redeem my trees. I have an organization called ATWA, rolling now, trying to redeem life on the planet Earth from the people that destroy it.
What you were talking about being God's messenger. Tell me that again.
Life is God. All life. Bugs, birds, trees, everything that's alive is God. The sun is God. But we've got God over here on a cross. We've got a dying man over here on a cross, and we're all kneeling down hoping that if we die, there's a better place somewhere else. Well, you got a whole bunch of people hoping that they die creates a hell of a big energy. And I call it a death wish. It's mother's death wish. It's what everybody's going towards dying, like the Vietnam War when they wanted to blow the world up.
And what have you got to do with God once again?
I'm just a messenger of the truth.
God's messenger?
Life's messenger. We use the word God. The God hooks all the other words up. I'm the Pope. I'm 10 times the Pope. I'm 50 times the Pope. But I'm the Pope in the hills and in the mountains. I'm already out of here. This enclosure here, I'm out of here. My body is stuck here, but my thought is already gone.
Are you ever in contact with your mother, your biological mother?
I am my mother.
I've heard that you get a lot of letters and have in the past gotten a lot of visits from kids, just kids that you don't know. Is that true?
I am kids.
Have you gotten these kinds of visits
Sure.
and letters from kids that you don't know?
Sure.
Why do you think these kids write you?
Because I am those kids.
What is it about you that they...
I am a child. I never grew up. I never lived in your society. I never went to school. I never had a mother and father. I raised myself up.
What do you think it is about you that makes people want to be a part of whatever it is you're a part of?
I'm brand new. Everything I do is always brand new. I'm on the premise of reality. I walk a real road. I'm a real person inside. I'm not a phony. I don't put on no airs. I say what I think. You see what I'm saying?
What would you do if you got out of prison on parole?
On parole, I don't know whether I would accept a parole. Because if I accept a parole, then I have to accept a whole bunch of little people play act importance with my life. I'm tired of other people running my life.
Are you saying that you don't want to accept guilt?
Guilt? The hell is that? I can do anything I want, woman.
What would you do if you got out of prison?
I'm out of prison. I get out every day. I get out in these guys every day. I get out all over. I'm everywhere. I know you're going to lock everywhere up. I'm everywhere, man. I'm all things. How you going to lock that up?
Why did you do so many things to get yourself thrown in jail? You seemed to like it when you were out, according to what I've read.
Well, because I'm stupid. I really am stupid. I'm smart in some things, but other things I'm dumb in, you know. Probably, if you notice, people that tell the truth generally act like they're kind of retarded. Mentally retarded people I can communicate with real good. And decent dumb people, man, we talk like crazy, you know. In other words, I'm all right with those. And kids I'm okay with. But when you get grown up, then there's a lot of problems. I don't get along too good with grown-ups. And they get me in trouble. People get me in trouble because I don't have the mental capacity to adjust to the outside. And when I get out there, I'm like a little kid. I'm like a little baby.
So you're telling me all these people think that you hate the blacks and you hate the Jews and you kill people and all you're really trying to do is stop pollution?
All the time, it's been the same thing. Whatever people put on me is what they're trying to play themselves on their level.
Tell me once again, I didn't quite get it, why the American Nazi Party sign on your forehead?
You can't say, well, the Jews are the chosen children of God, and these Germans are no good because their forefathers fought. No. The Germans are no worse than the Jews. And the blacks are no worse than the Mexicans. And the Mexicans are no worse than the Filipinos. And the Filipinos are no worse than the Chinese. So how do you reach a one with that whole circle? How do you reach a one with that whole circle? How do you have peace on this earth? You can't have peace on this earth unless you let Second World War die. I'm in the cell with a guy named Millman, Jerry Millman. And he's got pictures of Hitler and Japanese and things all that. I said, boy, Hitler must have been a hell of a guy. He said, Hitler was terrible. I hate him. I said, why do you hate him? He said, I'm a Jew. I said, well, why do you enshrine this guy? Is he your daddy? And he looked up to his mother's fear. And his mother's fear was Hitler. Hitler was like his father figure. He loved Hitler, but he hated Hitler. He needed Hitler to hold him up. Because Hitler was holding his hate up. Because without his hate, he didn't exist. He didn't have no reason to live unless he had some hate. He didn't have any reason to buy and sell unless the money held him up. If you took the money away from him, you took the hate away from him, he'd be gone. So how do you communicate to a whole group of people? You stand up and you take the worst fear symbol there is and say, there, now I've got your fear. Now I've got your fear. And your fear is your power, and your power is your control. I'm your king of this whole planet. I'm going to rule this whole world through Atwa. I want my trees put back. I want my water clean. I want my atmosphere cleaned up. What you do beyond that, I don't care what church you go to or what race you are, what color you are, what
el infierno está en la tierra.
All that nickel and dime personal important trash head stuff, I don't care about that. All I care about is my air, my water, my trees, and my wildlife. And you humans, if you don't get in line with that, goodbye.
Y recuerden, el infierno está en la tierra.